Okay, good evening and good morning. I see one person from India also. Good morning. So we can get started after a week's break. Anu, could you chant the invocation, Sahana Bhavatu?
Sahana Bhavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.
Okay, that's great. So let's continue chapter 4. I think we were in a very interesting and probably one of the most revolutionizing teaching of the Bhagavad Gita. Anybody remembering where we were? Probably this is one of my most favorite topic. This chapter, we were talking about the different yajnas, 12 yajnas. The context to this topic is, Krishna said, you can get freedom from all sufferings, either by knowing yourself or by knowing Ishvara. And how do you worship that Ishvara? He said, worshipping Ishvara is not just putting flowers. The karmas you perform is essentially the worship. And one need to understand the logic or how the karma works. Because the gati of karma, the direction of karma, it's very hard to understand. It was a verse, karmano pi bodhavyam, bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha, akarmano hyavi bodhavyam, gahana karmano gati. So understanding karma and properly executing karma is the real worship of Ishvara. So to demonstrate that, Krishna gave the whole idea, Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi, Brahmatno Brahmanahudam. That verse was given. Everything is Brahman. So whatever you do, whatever you seek, whatever you see, whatever you touch, anything you can imagine in the physical world, anything you can imagine in the anything you can interact in the physical world, anything you can imagine in your mental world, everything is Brahman. Just like every wave, every tiny bits of wave in the wave is nothing but water. But to demonstrate this, I gave you the most beautiful example. It is the Swapna Drishtanta. In a dream, we see mountains, trees, plant, animal, and human, sun and the moon and the stars. We see other human beings. But really speaking, myself and everything I see, everything I think in the dream is my mind stuff, truly speaking. Everything exists in my mind. Everything came from my mind and everything merged back to the mind. Applying the same logic, the fundamental reality of the universe, Brahman, absolute reality of the universe, Brahman, that is essentially everything. So if Brahman is everything, if there is only God, I can invoke that God in any form I want. So you don't need to limit yourself to certain type of actions as worship, and certain types of actions you should do away from the God. That idea is not there. In other traditions, they say you're spiritualizing your life by going to a church or a temple or a mosque on a day. You're spiritualizing yourself. But here, you're spiritualizing the entire activity. What Krishna is saying is that two things. The whole Karma Yoga is given a new dimension here. You should not do anything which you cannot present in front of your Divine Father, if you are a religious person. If you're not a religious person, don't do any tamasic actions. As long as the scope of work you do is limited to the sattvic and rajasic action, that means you can present those actions confidently in front of your Divine Father. That can be considered as an offering. Just because there is an offering, that offering won't become an yajna. So that's why the whole idea of Vedic yajna was taken and a new dimension is given. An oblation and an offering becomes yajna when you offer proper material, right? When you offer proper material to the Almighty with a proper attitude. So extending that to my action, I need to restrict my actions only to that actions which can be presented in front of my Divine Father or Mother. And I need to present that action with an attitude of offering. Then it becomes yajna. To remove any trace of my doubt from anybody's mind, Krishna took 12 samples from the possibilities of infinite actions. It could be eating your food. It could be disciplining your body. It could be disciplining your mind. It could be your religious worship. It would be as simple as your pranayama. It would be as simple as your Ashtanga Yoga. Every action, every possible action can be considered. Just like you offer a ghee or a sesame seed in the oblation of fire, in a fire ritual, your offering, your action in front of that Divine Father and Mother as your offering. Then whatever you get out of that action, you take and enjoy that as a prasada. This is the larger scope of Karma Yoga. This is the larger dimension of Karma Yoga. So Karma Yoga is not pretty much limited to certain actions I do in a temple, but it is everything I do. Initially, I may not be able to do that. I may start with a subset of action, but eventually, I need to extend this to my entire action. Yatat pravritti bhutanam yena sarvamidam tadam swakarmanat tadarchasya siddhim vindadi manavaha. 46 verse 18th chapter. Krishna finally concludes this Karma Yoga in a brilliant definition. That by which this entire world is pervaded. That by which this entire universe is sustained. To that Ishvara, offer all your action. When you offer all your action, you gain siddhi. This is Karma Yoga, my friends. This is the real Gita. It is spiritualizing the human life. And as I said, if you follow this one rule, in a week time, you will transform to a saint. There is no teaching in the entire spiritual literature of the whole universe which is as quick, as simple, as purifying like Karma Yoga. It is the most powerful purifier. You need to have this attitude and do the proper action with proper attitude. Because in the second chapter, we studied that. Third chapter, we elaborated that to yajna. Fourth chapter, Krishna extended the scope of this yajna to the entire universe of actions I do. You see the progression, right? Second chapter, you heard karmanyevadhikaraste, ma phaleshu katajana, ma karma phalahedur bohu, ma desangostva karmani. Third chapter, we heard yajnarthvan karmanonyatra, lokuyam karma bandhana, tadartham karma gaunteya, mukta sangha samajara. Do your action as yajna. So if somebody might have mistaken yajna as a Vedic yajna, here in this chapter, we saw 11 yajnas we have seen already, and now we are going to see the 12th yajna. But let me pause here because this is one of the most important topic of the Bhagavad Gita. Anybody has any questions or any clarity needed? Because this, we just need to make sure that we have that clarity. So we have seen Deva Yajna, we have seen Brahma Jnana Yajna, we have seen Samyama Yajna, Indriya Yajna, Atma Samyama Yajna, Dravya Yajna, which is charity, Tapo Yajna, which is the discipline, and Yoga Yajna, which is the Ashtanga Yoga, Swadhyaya Yajna, study of the scripture, reading of the scripture, Jnana Yajna, teaching and imparting the knowledge. We saw Pranayama Yajna or Prana Yajna. And finally, one yajna which you cannot skip, eating. Eating your food is given. So that is where we are. But any questions? Means, hope you got this idea, right? This idea is such a inspiring thought from the Bhagavad Gita. No questions? Excellent. Or did I lose you? Is it clear?
Rajesh, could you say about Samyama Yajna and Atma Samyama Yajna?
So this is, we talked about that earlier also, right? So see, what I'll do is once this whole thing is done, I can just recap all the yajna once again. Okay, so we will take it from there because this is what we covered in the previous class. So I'll come back. One is basically you are trying to make sure that your mind is controlled, right? So that's one thing. So we will go over that a little bit. Each action, each discipline you do, that's what it is. Okay, so let's continue 30. Once this is done, I will recap with the whole 12 yajna. But a word of caution, don't think that these are the only yajnas. These are only not random sampling. I would say subset sampling. Like each major category is taken and a sample is given. If you go to Vedas, you will see hundreds of thousands of yajnas. So this is only a sample. One more word of, let's cover the Ahara yajna and then we will come back to that point. So could you chant Ahara yajna?
Apare niyataharaha pranan praneshu juhvati sarve pyete yajna vidaha yajnakshapita kalmashaha. Again,
beautiful, right? Apare. The word apara means here others. Others means we have been talking about a lot of people who are doing the yajna. So one category, others, what they do, niyata aharaha. A Limited meaning of ahara means what?
Food.
Food. Aharati iti ahara. That which you consume. That's all it means. So technically, whatever you see with your eyes is also ahara. Ahara of what? Eyes. That which you consume with your eyes is the ahara of eyes. But in this particular context, it is the food. Aharati iti aharaha. So apare niyata aharaha. What they do? They put some discipline in what? Eating. See, eating is that something that you can present in front of your divine father or mother? See, whenever you get an action, this is the test you need to do. Of course, without eating, you cannot continue. Now, then, if you take that habit of eating, and if you put that attitude, the food I eat, it's an offering to the God. That's it. And then, how do I make it as a yajna? One is, I have this attitude, and then I regulate niyata aharaha. The quality and the quantity is regulated. When I do that, that becomes a yajna. How it is symbolically represented? Juhyati, offer, where you offer your desire to eat unto the digestive fire. Symbolically, it is said. So you are putting some discipline in your eating. That's it. So who was asking about the intermittent fasting? I think it was Arnab. Can you convert the intermittent fasting into a, yeah. Remember Arnab's question last week? 2 weeks back. What is intermittent fasting? You do a window, right? So you do like 16/8, if that is the window. You make sure that your eating is done in that 8-hour window. So now, I think he himself asked the question. The problem is sometimes, what is the problem? You get hungry in that 16 hours. You put the discipline there. That is the niyata ahara. And whatever you eat, if you eat as an offering to the God, that intermittent fasting, which was a secular activity, becomes as good as a good Vedic ritual. You got the point, right? This is the beauty of the Gita. Sometimes people say that you guys interpret and make it very modern. I think what else, how look at the words. I'm not interpreting anything. Apare niyata aharaha. You're disciplining your intake. That's it. That is the pro. Yeah. Pranan praneshu yuhyati. And then what do? All these people means he is summing up. The people who does their activity as an yajna, right? So you can perform your actions as a yajna. It means when you perform the actions as a yajna, 2 things are implied. One is the actions are proper and you will have a proper attitude. When you do that, all these people, right? Yajna vidaha, who practice this yajna, meaning the people who perform their action as karma yoga. The people who practice their action, perform their action with a spirit of yajna. So those people, without exception, api, right? What do? Yajna cha vita karma vida. They will be freed from all the impurities. they will be freed from all the impurities of their mind. This is the biggest benefit of this process of Karma Yoga. If you go back to the basics we always study, why do I do Karma Yoga? What is the purpose of Karma Yoga? Is Karma Yoga is going to give me moksha directly? No, right? So think about the 3 steps. Mala Nivritti, Vikshepa Nivritti, Avarana Nivritti. This is the whole spiritual path. The first step is purifying the impurities of the mind, right? Mala Nivritti. Purification means purify the mind. Second step is what? Make the mind stable, which is the Upasana Yoga, which we will see in the 6th chapter onwards. So now the first part is being elaborated. So, and then once you have a pure and a stable mind, you can use that to see the truth. That is the Jnana Yoga. So these are the 3 steps. Karma Yoga, Upasana Yoga, Jnana Yoga. These are the 3 steps in the spiritual path. On a high level, you can do it as 2 steps. So Krishna is underlining the purpose of Karma Yoga by clearly saying that those who perform their karmas as yajna, what is the biggest benefit? All the impurities of the mind will be purified. Clear? Look at the clarity of the teachings of the Gita. Very clearly said. So what is the purpose of the Karma Yoga? Purification of the mind. This verse is the reference. So Shankara tells a beautiful example. Say in olden times, when you go out, you come back home with a lot of dust and dirt on your body. What do you do every day? Take a bath. Every day you interact with the world. The body gets dirt and you do a snanam. And in fact, for the Vedic lifestyle, the first step in the morning is snanam, and you do a prayer also. That is the first prayer of the day, snanam. Let's not go there. It's a big topic. But Shankara brings up an interesting point. Yeah, you all see your body get dirt, and you need to you don't have to tell anybody. Any matured person, he will take a bath. But what about the mind? Every day I go out, I get angry, I get jealousy, I get all these emotional overflowing will be there. So much of dirt will be there in the mind. How do you clean that? If you don't clean that, it will stink. That's why the stinky behavior is coming out from everybody. So every day, can I say that I can take a physical bath today and I'm good for all the rest of my life? No, this is a daily practice I need to do. So this yajna is the greatest, just like a physical bath purifies my physical body, these yajnas purifies my mind. That's the what a beautiful example, right? This is excellent example. So let's see the verse. So disciplined eating, that is the final yajna. I think it is 12th yajna. I made a mistake. It is the measured eating, healthy eating, and controlled eating. This is the commentary, Sanskrit commentary. I'm just putting only an English translation.
So this is a Shankara's
Yeah.
commentary.
Yeah. Quality, quantity, matra. Matra means measure. How many years since all these disciplined eatings, everything came into the modern society? Anybody can think of?
Maybe in 50 years
50
or less even.
50 years, less than 50 years. Exactly. I think even now, right? At least in India, at least a couple of our parents, our parents are okay. Like our grandparents, if you had any, like, if you are lean, they will say that you are unhealthy. Have you had an experience? If you're fat, or if you are obese, they think that you are healthy. That was the attitude. And 50 years back, only this whole disciplined eating came into the modern world. Here you are 5,000 years back talking about it. Not just one verse, multiple verses. Chapter 6, Yuktahara Viharasya. Chapter 17, what? You should eat that food which gives you nutrition, which is good for your health, which gives you long life. I forgot the verse. I don't know whether you remember that verse. Sattvic food. That's a beautiful verse. No, that is different. That is 6th chapter. But in chapter 17, no, chapter 16, no, 17. Yeah, 17. You get a beautiful definition of it.
Shall I say? Ayusattva balarokya sukha priti vivardhana rasya snigdha sthira hridya ahara sattvika priyaha.
Look at that. Brilliant verse. And mind you, right, a lot of people put categories. Onion is rajasic, this food is swatik, etc. Krishna didn't say that. What Krishna said is that which is good for your body, right? That which gives you ayus, right? Means, can you chant, I know, just the first 2 lines? That verse.
Ayusattva balarokya sukha priti vivardhana rasya snigdha sthira.
Yeah, which gives you long life, which gives you energy, which is good for your body. That is sattvic food. This is the definition. So the idea of disciplined eating, you can see in multiple places in Gita. Beautiful. This is the whole idea of yajna. So now Krishna is concluding this topic, giving some pros and cons. Those who follow yajna, what is going to happen, and those who do not follow yajna, what is going to happen. Oh my God, my file didn't save in OneDrive. Okay, so Anu, can you chant?
Yeah. Apare 31st one or 30th?
Yeah, 31st. I think my slides didn't update it. Sorry about that.
Yajnashishtamrita bhujaha yanti brahma sanatanam nayam lokostya yajnasya kutonyah kuru sattama.
Again, it's a beautiful verse. He tells, "Oh, best among Kurus, Kuru Sattama," right? So, oh, best among the Kuru family means best among the family dynasty of Kuru, King Kuru. And then what happened? Yajna Shishta Mrita Puja. It is a very compound word. So Sanskrit is a language where you combine these individual words and create a compound word. So here you can see Yajna Shishtamrita Puja. What is a simple grammar rule when you have a compound rule? Read from right to left. That's it. So Puja, who consume, right? Amrita, nectar. Shishta, leftover. Yajna. So those who consume the prasada of the yajna. So typically when you do a puja at home or a havan at home, you might have noticed, right? You put an offering in front of the deity, right? You put some sweet, laddu or whatever it is, right? And after the yajna, what is going to happen? You take it back and you consume it, right? That is what is the prasada of the yajna. So in ritualistic language, before the yajna, whatever you cook, there is a technical term. And after the yajna, when you take it back, there is a technical term. Before the yajna, the food you offer to the deity is known as, there is a word. Anybody remember that?
Naivedyam.
Naivedyam, exactly. And that Naivedyam becomes prasad. You don't eat Naivedyam. You offer the Naivedyam. The offered Naivedyam is called prasada, and you consume prasada. This is what is happening in the ritualistic yajna. Right? But in other areas, what is that? You eat food. The benefit of that, right? So you will appease your hunger, right? You go and work for your family. What is the prasada you get? Your salary. Any actions will produce a result. And what after putting the best, whatever you get is the prasad. So if you're investing some money, you may get some profit. That is the prasad.
Hello. Hi, Ansi. So sorry to bother you, Ansi. I'm really, really sorry. I think I got the phone. I thought it was forwarded. And till 8:30, no calls came. Then I got worried. How come nobody is calling? When I called the office, then only I realized. So thank you, Ansi. Now it is perfect. Yeah, and every day I think before going we'll check with the cell phone and see, just to be on the safe side.
Yeah. Sorry about that. That's fine. Okay. This happens in work a lot nowadays. And sometimes it is very dangerous. I have a very interesting story. Especially with the cameras, it's very funny.
You rely a lot on the mute button.
Yeah.
if there's some malfunctioning in that, there can be trouble.
Yeah.
And the video too.
Video too. Yeah.
For a minute, I thought she was talking to Rajesh.
That's okay. No, this is an informal group, so we are good. Okay. I lost my train of thought. Okay. So whatever you get as the legitimate result of your action, that is prasada. And you consume it. So the salary you get, you can enjoy. The profit you make from a legitimate business, you can enjoy. So that is what it is. Yajna Shishtamrita Puja. what is going to happen? Yanti Brahma Sanatanam. So, who eats that prasada eventually will reach where? Brahman. Because Karma Yoga is a yajna. Karma Yoga will give you the purity of the mind. Upasana Yoga is a yajna. It is going to give the stability of the mind. And Jnana Yoga, which is also mentioned in one of the 12 yajna, that is going to give you the knowledge. So if you follow this lifestyle of this yajna, what is going to happen? Your life here will be beautiful, and your upcoming life also will be beautiful, because you are getting closer to the truth, and eventually you will realize the truth. So Krishna praises this lifestyle of Karma Yoga, because the Karma Yoga itself is going to purify you, but eventually all these yajnas, means he didn't say Karma Yoga, he said the yajnas, because Upasana Yoga is also a yajna, Jnana Yoga is also a yajna. Eventually it will take you to the final destination. Now, see, Veda always talk about this, right? If you do this, this is what is going to happen. If you don't do this, what is going to happen? That is the next line, right? Then, those who do not follow this lifestyle of yajna, so ayajnasya, if you add the prefix a, it's a negation. So, if you don't follow this yajna, what is going to happen? Na asti, they don't gain I am here, or means even means they don't hear anything here, and then he tells kutaha anyaha. What about the future? Nothing. They don't hear nothing here, and they don't gain anything in the future also. Why? See, you might be doing all the karmas, but you are not following the Karma Yoga. What is going to happen? You may have $1 million here, but you may not be enjoying your life. Forget about the moksha. They may not, Krishna says, it's a sarcasm, right? It's a subtle sarcasm. He said, oh, they may try to go after everything in this world. But do you think they are enjoying anything? I was reading a beautiful book. I forgot the name of the book. Lot of CEOs in this country, like, you know, how many of them collapsed at the age of 40s and late 30s and early 50s? Made billions of millions of dollars. What is the use? I don't have to explain this further and reiterate this point, because you all know this fact well. In his book Flow, there's a beautiful statement which I really love. The first chapter of the book Flow, a beautiful example is given. Let's imagine that we are living our life at the time of, say, Akbar, or the specific example of that book was Julius Caesar. In Caesar's empire, the best facility enjoyed by Caesar himself. If an ordinary man in Caesar's empire, if he can imagine that, okay, if he gets the lifestyle of Caesar, I'll be happy. That is what the common thought point. Right now, you and I might think, right? If I win a lottery, I'll be happy. Or if I if my son or daughter goes to this particular college, I'll be happy. There are a lot of buts and ifs for me to start enjoying my life. Yesterday only somebody was telling me, I'm just waiting for my retirement to enjoy the life, because right now it's a lot of stress. Now, coming back to the book, the author tells, the lifestyle enjoyed by Caesar is easily affordable to you and me right now. The quality of food we eat is much better than the quality of food Caesar ate. The number of bathrooms, he specifically called out, number of bathrooms or restrooms in the house, in our house, is much more than what was available to Caesar. The speed at which we commute, unimaginable compared to what Caesar had. The information technology available to us is uncomparable or unimaginable, even for the greatest kings of the ancient world. The medical facility and the longevity of the human life is uncomparable compared to 100 years back or 200 years back. So if a person in Caesar's kingdom can dream the lifestyle we are living here, what would have been his expectation? I am 100% happy. But ask yourself, imagine your own childhood, your preschool. You would have thought that if you had this job, this facilities, you will be ending up in America with this job, this lifestyle, this car, this facility. What would have been your conclusion at that point of time? And go back to Kailash Ji's famous example. When we were doing the first Vedanta class, he was telling, he was giving three things. He said, like, if I had a moped, if I had 1,000 rupees salary, if I had a job in Wipro, I still remember that. That's why I'm quoting that. I would have been the happiest person. Look at me now. If you simply use that mathematical induction, the logic of mathematical induction, what does that mean? So now I have a concept that tomorrow, let us take the highest. Let's say that if I go to heaven, I'm happy. That's where Swami Chinmayananda always used to say, heavenly problems will be waiting for you. So, when you don't follow this lifestyle, see, the life we live, I always feel guilty about this. The life we live, that is wonderful life. Yes, there are shortcomings. There are areas of fixing, but the blessing we have is much more than the problems we have. And we always try to see that one problem and ignore that 9 things. Why? They're not following this lifestyle. This I can see even from my own life experience. When I started doing this, at least I started appreciating what we have. So you don't need to do much to become happy, right? A family time you spent, or watching a movie, or reading a book, or going for a drive, or getting a small meal from outside, having an ice cream from outside, all these are You can make it so special and try to enjoy the life. So a person following this Karma Yoga, a person who sees his life as yajna, the immediate benefit is what? Your level of happiness will go up. And also, typically what happens, if you start enjoying now, what is coming may not be that pleasant. For example, if you start eating unhealthy food, it might be very pleasant right now, but later not good. But in this particular case, it's not like that. You are going to enjoy your life here, and you are going to enjoy your life thereafter. On the other hand, if you don't follow this lifestyle, your life here is miserable. And there is no way of reaching into the truth. This is not a hopeless statement, but just to show you the two snapshots. That's what this verse is. Any questions? Okay, so let's go to the last verse of today. Okay, so sorry for the title. Means I think whatever I saved from the other computer didn't save in the OneDrive. So Anu, could you chant?
Evam bahuvitha yajnaha vitata brahmano mukhe karmajan vidhitan sarvan evam jnatva vimokshyase.
The topic is concluded. So he tells, evam, in this manner. In which manner? Anybody?
This yajna,
All 12 yajnas.
Correct. By following Karma Yoga.
Mhm.
By following the life of a yajna, following Karma Yoga. The lifestyle of Karma Yoga. Many and varied. Bahuvidha yajnas. So in this particular lifestyle, there is a varieties of yajnas. Elaborately mentioned. Vitata. Brahmanaha mukhe. Here the word Brahman means Vedas. Okay, so this is where the Sanskrit is a context sensitive language. You may think that the word here Brahmano mukhe, it can be interpreted as it came from Brahmaji's mouth. It can say that the absolute reality's mouth, but the meaning is Veda. The word Brahma can means Brahmaji, it can means Veda, it can means the absolute reality, Brahma. So here in this particular context, it is Veda. So what Krishna is saying is that this lifestyle with lot of yajnas are given by Vedas. Again, Vedas means Gita gives 12 yajnas, Veda gives a little bit more. But what you need to understand, as Shankara highlights in his commentary, the scope of this yajna is infinite. Like anything and everything you do in your life, of course, legitimate things can come under the yajna. So, in this manner, different types of yajnas are given by the Vedas. I have given you a sample of 12. And he tells, understand, Vithidan, Sarvan, right? Understand them, Pan, Sarvan, all, born out of karma. You have to perform action, right? And knowing this, knowing all these yajnas, Jnatva evam vimuchyate, you will be liberated. So the Veda means the paraphrase, if I summarize it, Krishna tells, the Vedas has given in this, to follow this lifestyle. Lifestyle means the lifestyle of Karma Yoga with yajnas. Vedas has prescribed a lot of yajnas. So you have to follow that yajna. With this understanding, you will be liberated. So what is that message means here? Convert your life into a life of Karma Yoga. When you say convert your life into a life of Karma Yoga, it means only proper work with proper attitude. When you do the work with proper attitude, what is going to happen? You will be purified, your mind will be stabilized, your ignorance will be removed, and you will reach the highest. When you reach the highest, you will be freed from all your sufferings. But even in that journey, you will see changes in your lifestyle. Your actions will be more efficient. Your results will be more efficient, more quicker. And you feel a joy in performing the action. You will feel more energized. Your life becomes such an easy life, effortless life. This is how he concludes that topic. That's a brilliant topic. I think we can go to the Q&A mode. Anu, could you do the quick chant? Purnamada.
Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Guru